All right, cool. So people usually start kind of streaming in once. Oh, there's my wife right there. She's just saying hi, watching with us in the other room. We got 3 people right now, so if you guys are here in the stream with us, let us know here in the comments. You can see them too, right, Adam?
Wait, yeah, I'm over here in private chat. Yeah, I can see. Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, so if anyone
This is cool.
they ask, yeah, this is a sweet setup. So on YouTube, they can message us, and then also here. So this is actually my family down in Indiana. So where again did you live? Where
I
do you
live
live
in
right now?
Kentucky, so
Okay, so you're close then.
yeah, I was just in Indiana 2 weekends ago. I went to
Oh, really?
Perfect
What
North.
city?
I went to Perfect North, wherever that is in Indiana.
Do you guys know where that is? Because I don't. Because we live in, or my family lives in Lafayette, right next to Purdue.
How close is that to Indianapolis?
Like an hour.
Okay, because I'm a pretty big Pacers fan, so like
Yeah.
I usually go and try and go to at least like 2 or 3 games a year. So
my dad's asking where in Kentucky.
Frankfurt. So if you know where Louisville is and you know where Lexington is, like smack dab in the middle.
Right in the middle. Because I was born in Wisconsin. We lived in Ohio, so we kind of danced around all over you in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool, man. You said go Pacers, man. If you're a Pacer fan, we go to a lot of those Pacer games when we go visit. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I actually interned at a YMCA right next to the Pacer Stadium.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's where I did my internship and stuff. But cool. So just so you guys know, Adam is one of the first people I started following once I started doing TikTok. He was nice enough to actually just answer like every single question I've ever had. And he does like a lot of cool lives and stuff, and I'd always jump in and try to help him out. But before we kind of talk about, how he's doing on TikTok and what his goals are and things, do you just want to give us some of your backstory and just how you got started? What led you to this point?
Yeah. So for me, I help run a furniture store. I've been doing that now for 3 years. I actually started at the furniture store about 6 years ago. Okay. I moved to Lexington, Kentucky for school, needed a job. And they were hiring an office guy. They needed someone to help clean the store, load furniture, and answer the phone. And I was like, yeah, that'll pay my rent. That'll work. So I just kind of grinded through that for about a year and a half. The manager at the time, he left. And so the owner brought in a new guy who lasted for 3 months. Wasn't really a good fit just because, he was kind of thrown into it like last minute and didn't really get full training, but just his personality didn't mesh well. Yeah. So I was like, hey, Jerry, like if you'll let me just take care of the office stuff, like I'll make sure it's covered between me and whoever, like I may have to hire someone. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. Like he didn't care. He just didn't want to fool with it.
Yeah. So let's get the job done.
Yeah, so like going to school full time and then pretty much working like 30 hours and like not really at that point I wasn't helping run the furniture store. I was basically making sure like office supplies were always ordered and just making sure there was a body there to like load furniture every day. Then once I graduated, I was like, okay, can I just work here full time now and get paid like a little more and do maybe, just like a little more stuff? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. And probably 2 or 3 months went by and I was like, okay, well, now that I've graduated, I've got a degree, like I need to like start making money now. Like I need to figure this out. So I had actually applied to a job, went through two rounds of interviews and like a screening test thing the company had, and accepted a position. I was like, okay, well, that's awesome. Like, Jerry, they're going to let me give you like a month's notice. So like I'll train whoever you can bring in here and I can still like help train even after I'm gone. And he stopped me. He was like, okay, so what if I paid you this, like the exact amount that I was going to make starting at the other place? He's like, I'll pay you that. You can do marketing stuff since you went to school for that. You can be in charge more of like sales stuff. And, you just be here every day like you have been and keep everything running smoothly. Cool. Awesome. Like 22 years old, like being told that, I was like, yeah, sure. Because my job, it's like super laid back. I make my own schedule. I, can kind of come and go as I please. It's not like super strict and stuff like that. So there are huge benefits, but over the past 2 years, I've gotten more and more responsibilities because the owner just wants to be really disconnected in a way from the business. Like he enjoys knowing that his paycheck is staying the same and growing more and more. But then there's times like when he just for some reason shows up for like a couple weeks and he just like wants to really nitpick. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how I've gotten to this point. And then honestly, I've always been trying to find like additional ways to make money. Like I've realized from basically the time I graduated that just relying on one job is not going to take care of like student loans, car loan, credit card debt, all that stuff. So last January, I actually became a certified high school, middle school softball umpire. And I was stoked because I've umpired since I was 16, but it was more like rec league stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty stoked because like, at least in Kentucky, you can make quite a bit of money being an umpire just with travel ball and high school, middle school stuff.
Who would have thought?
And so I was pretty up there this time last year thinking, okay, a bunch of my debt's going to get wiped out this year. I'm going to make a ton of money. Awesome. And then COVID happened. I was like, well, there goes that. Luckily, like the furniture store, we had to close for 2 months, but yet I still had to go in like 6 days a week for about 30 hours and just kind of check on things. So my pay from that didn't get changed at all. And I, didn't get a bonus or two out of it. So I wasn't like a lot of people and I wasn't affected by it.
Right.
But still I was like, okay, well, this just goes to prove like I need to have some sort of backup. And I was not a fan of TikTok. Like my wife, she loved it. Like she would always be, I just kind of fooled around on it. And I was scrolling one day and one of Spencer's videos actually came up. It was how to write a kid's book and make money for the next 5 years. And I watched that like 3 or 4 times and I was like, this is genius. Like my wife's a preschool teacher. I was like, she can easily write a kid's book. No problem at all. I can literally make the graphics for it. It's not going to be that complicated. We could do this. So right then I was like, okay, so making money online isn't as hard as, I've been thinking where it's like, oh, I've got to make something. I've got to ship something. I've got to have all these customers to deal with. Like there are other ways to do it. And then I would say probably a couple weeks later, maybe a few days later, I'm not sure, one of Brian's videos popped up. And
how did the book thing go? Did you guys give it a try?
No, we still haven't done that. That was like right before. That was in September or October. So we were thinking like, okay, like Christmas break comes around, yeah, we're going to do it, and then we just never did. But
it's kind of like a lot of most ideas,
Oh yeah,
come and go, but
yeah, for sure. But yeah, so then one of Brian's videos popped up talking about affiliate marketing. It didn't really click with me right away, but I was interested in it. And so I think I followed him like right away. And he was the only guy that I followed that talked about affiliate marketing that I can honestly like remember. I think Spencer may like talk about it every now and then, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Brian's videos just kept popping up. The more and more I kept listening to it and hearing about it, I'm like, I literally have a marketing degree. Like that's what I went to school for. That's what I wanted to do. And this is a way to use my degree and do it from home and, possibly replace my full-time job, which I don't hate my job at all. Like I really enjoy the people I work with and stuff, but right now the furniture industry is just getting hit from every direction between customers being upset over like how long stuff is taking, suppliers not being able to get, parts and stuff out in time, factories being backed up and can't get stuff out. It's just like, it's nonstop, like headache almost every day. So
yeah, because everything's kind of getting stalled out, right? Because everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's COVID. Like, be patient with us or whatever.
Yeah, and people get upset because they think, well, COVID, all that stuff started a year ago. These companies and factories, they should have stuff figured out, but that's not the case. Like when at least our store, and I can speak for most of Lazy Boy, just because so the company that I work for is a family-owned company, but they're a Lazy Boy franchise, and so I can speak for like the entire company. Like we did not think that when all these stores got shut down and reopened that people were just going to like show up in droves and just like order. Like I think they said in our call in January that the average last year was around 30, maxed out at 40,000 units of furniture being ordered in a given week for the entire company. And this past year, 40 is like the minimum. It's ranging anywhere from 40 to 60,000 units of furniture. So you take that on top of factories that have to be reconfigured to, kind of separate people, factories that do, have temporary shutdowns with people that, either have got COVID or came in contact and they have to quarantine and stuff. I mean, people think that just because their life is kind of back on track and normal doesn't mean that an entire supply chain is back on normal. And that's kind of been the biggest headache for the last year now, is getting people to realize, like, yes, our lives are, started back up. Like, you're going back to work, you're going shopping, you're doing all this, but like a factory can't make a chair if all the screws and all the springs that are needed for it aren't showing up. Like, if that's not there, what are they doing? And
so do you have like a bunch of back orders or something, or how does that work?
Oh yeah. So our store as of right now probably has a little over 2 million in back orders. And typically the average for most stores is anywhere from like 400,000 to 600,000. Just depends on like the season and, if there's like a special holiday that is coming up or just came up. But like our store, just over 2 million. The next closest store to us is the Louisville store, closer to Indiana. And I know for a fact they're well over 2.3. And I talk to their manager all the time. I mean, it sucks because like, we're seeing all this great success, but we can't get it out, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
people just get frustrated over time.
So it's very interesting. You said like the demand is there, but it's just not able to catch up, I guess.
Like if you had, I'm not a stock wizard or anything, but I would just assume like if you had stock in like Lowe's or Home Depot or those home improvement stores, you probably made a lot of money this past year, because that's all people, at least where I live, that's all people could really do is they could go to the grocery store, they could go to Lowe's. And every time that I would go to Lowe's for something, like lines and lines of people just in there, just buying all sorts of stuff. So definitely, I really think like the home improvement, the home, that whole home program product thing has been a big moneymaker this past year.
Yeah. Nancy says that people are they're all at home doing gardening and more home projects and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. Before I continue about how you kind of finally hit the switch to start, I had a couple questions from what you said, just a couple of nuggets. So it's like like if I was to go back to college, because I don't use my degree anymore, I'm recreational management. You're in marketing. I would want to do marketing, but did they teach you anything about affiliate marketing in college?
So I went to University of Kentucky, and I say that because, you would think a company or a college that produces NBA players left and right would have like a decent like business college. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to put the college down, but no, affiliate marketing, that was a foreign concept. Like I've never heard that until I came across Brian. The closest thing that I really got to affiliate marketing was learning about blogging and email marketing, but that was in a service management course that I had to take. And even that wasn't even the focus of the course. It was like, the course was like, her curriculum and like what was being taught out of this book. But on the side, she wanted us to get a HubSpot Academy certificate and kind of go through that. So it was like, we had this main course, but then we had this little ancillary thing she was wanting us to do. But that is the closest to online marketing that in my 4 years that I even came across. And I'm working on my master's right now. I started that in September before I came across affiliate marketing. And even that has yet to really talk about online marketing. Like all my courses to this point have been
branding, maybe, or
no, not even like, and that's the thing that's kind of annoying. Like, even though, like I said specifically, like I don't want accounting, I don't want economics, I don't want finance, I want to focus on marketing. It's okay. Well, here's an economics course, here's a management course. Like right now, I'm in healthcare marketing, and one of my like assignments was, what are you looking to get out of this course? And I literally said, I have no information. I don't know anything about healthcare marketing, so I'm just here for the ride, basically.
Yeah, to get that degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, my dad was asking, is that master's in marketing? Yeah, it is. So
Yeah.
he said he did his first bachelor's, and he decided to do his master's. What, a couple months ago? You said 6 months ago.
Yeah, like I was sitting at home. Pretty much it was during COVID. Like I was still going in. I was like, this is kind of a sign. Like my mindset once I graduated, I was like, I'm not going back to school unless someone pays for it. Like I'm done with school.
Yeah,
And when COVID happened, I was like, if our store wasn't already in a good spot before that, like, maybe my position gets wiped out, maybe the company gets wiped out, like all sorts of things started going through my head. So I was like, maybe I do need to go back, get my master's, just because I thought getting a degree in marketing would, help for something. Like I would be able to apply to some companies like around, where I live now, or maybe even in other states, and have like somewhat of a chance. But everything that I seemed to come across was, oh, you don't have enough experience. It's like, you're right. I don't have enough experience because I spent 4 years like going to school. But while I was going to school, I was working almost full time, like running a furniture store in a way, like learning how to manage people's schedules, work with customers. All like there was, and what I thought was very valuable skills that you would have to teach someone, or someone would have to learn after years of working, in a place. And that just didn't I guess line up with a lot of companies that would come to these what do they call it, like job training fairs, or just job fairs in
job
general.
fairs.
Yeah. And like I went to 2 of them. I talked to several companies. I was like, these are the skills that I've acquired in 4 years along with my degree. And every time I wouldn't get any callbacks. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just stay here at the furniture store. And like I said, I'm not, being there doesn't make me upset, doesn't make me like hate my job, hate my 9 to 5. But at the same time, I'm like, it's not, if you would have told me in 2014, hey, when you graduate in 2017, you're going to still work there. In 2021, you're still going to be working there. You're going to get your master's. Like the owner has told me to this point that I have like he's almost came out and just said, like, when I retire here in a few years, like I want to sell you the store.
Mm.
And that sounds awesome. But at the same time, like waiting for that to happen just is a headache. And honestly, the way things have been this past year, I'm like, man, this is not really something that I think I would want to deal with anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
a little bit more stressful than what you were kind of hoping for.
Yeah. And I mean, and also too, like this is just my personal opinion, but I feel like if you're a franchisee, you're basically just renting a company. Like he gets to do his own thing for the most part. But like they're coming down heavy on him this year, like saying, okay, you're renovating the store, which is going to cost almost $1 million. And they're like, you're doing it, and you don't really have a choice. If you want to, play games or not do it, then maybe we need to have a talk about your future with the company. Like, so he has some leeway, but at the end of the day, it's whatever the company wants. And that can be, I mean, just as big of a headache as just dealing with customers who are upset over their furniture not coming out. So,
yeah, that's true. So in a way, you kind of still feel like almost a pawn in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like you got to be kind of told what to do. And then I guess my last question is, and just so you guys know, he mentioned 2 names that are pretty important as far as what him and I are doing. In Legendary Marketer, there's kind of like leaderboards, and I think we talked about it last time with Dylan. But some of the bigger hitters, or some of the people that are kind of leading in the company of Legendary Marketer, one of them's name is Brian Brewer, who he mentioned, and he was one of the first people that I kind of refollowed again after, because I actually found Legendary like 2 or 3 years ago, and almost jumped on it, but they kind of changed some things, so it's more appealing now. And then also Spencer Meekum, who has been on YouTube a long time and just barely recently kind of picked up Legendary Marketer as well. So both of those guys are pretty big marketers. And so while he was on TikTok, he said he found Brian. And I was going to ask you, just before you jump into kind of when you like pulled the trigger and said, hey man, this is my life, I want to start doing something for myself. What impressed you with Brian? And then what did you find that kind of sparked your interest in affiliate marketing compared to all the other things online?
Yeah. Well, as far as like anything online that's ever appealed to me. So I know people talk a lot about drop shipping and like reselling stuff. Like I've never been into that, just because I've never had the time to look into it. And I've really never wanted to, any of my free time, look at that stuff. But so I went to school for marketing, but I also got my minor in digital design and media.
Oh, okay,
So,
cool.
I use like Premiere Pro, Illustrator, Lightroom, Photoshop, all that stuff. Like I got to use all those programs, and I was familiar with Photoshop and some website developing software just from high school. But like that was like my favorite part of college. So for me, the only really online business model that's ever appealed to me is the print on demand business model.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I actually found out about like the website Redbubble. I found out about that through a lady I work with. And
Hmm.
she was like, yeah, a lot of my friends, they like try and put stuff on there. Basically, you just make whatever design you want, put it on
Kind of
there.
like
And
Etsy.
yeah. It's like, so if people like your design, then they can buy it and you can decide what it can go on, like pillows, hats, um, phone cases, and then you set the price, and then however much it costs to make, you get the difference. And so for
Hmm.
me, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like it can help those skills and I can try and get better at it, put it on there and, try and get something out of it. Even if it's like $1, like all I did was sit on, my computer for maybe 30 minutes. So really
Yeah.
that's the only business model that's ever like appealed to me. But when I came across Brian's, I think his at first, what got me into it definitely wasn't him. Cause like in the beginning, I was like looking at it like, okay, this guy, like I can tell he's been doing this for years. And so, yeah, he's
Yeah.
got all this. And even now, like I still watch his videos and I'm like,
It's kind of a different level.
yeah, I'm just like, it's hard to like kind of like put your head in that space. Like, Brian's been doing it for years, but I
And
think,
just so you guys know here watching, Brian, he's very humble. He's not like super boasting. He doesn't have Lamborghinis and all that
yeah,
stuff.
oh
But
yeah,
he makes about $300,000 a year doing affiliate
yeah,
marketing. And so when we say he's at the top of his game here, like we're serious. And so that's why we're saying it's a little bit harder for us, as beginners to be like, man, like we can do that right away. When really we're just kind of getting the cogs going here. So
yeah,
sorry, but go
yeah.
ahead.
But the message, I mean, just the affiliate marketing business model. Like as soon as I watched a couple more of his videos, it just instantly clicked. I was like, there's nothing hard to understand about that. Like I immediately was like, that's why people make YouTube channels and literally all they do is unbox stuff and give reviews. Like they don't do that just
Yeah.
for fun. Like they do it because they're getting paid. So like
Yep.
I immediately was like, okay, this makes sense to me. Like this is something that I think, maybe I could do. I don't know. So instantly, like my brain's spinning. Like, okay, what can I do? Like, how would I even go about it? So that's when I really took his videos serious. And like you said, he's not big. He's not, he doesn't showboat anything. I mean, his
Yeah.
videos are all the same. They're always in like, what looks to be like his home office, which is just a desk, a leather chair,
He's
some
got
books
like
behind
a
him.
number one dad mug or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like just very laid back. So like, then I was like, okay, well, listening to him more. And like, he said he used to be a waiter in like San Diego or Texas or something.
Yeah, like a restaurant, a
Yeah.
manager or something.
Yeah, and then he got into affiliate marketing. And I think about it, especially now, like back then, they didn't like Brian and Spencer, like they didn't have TikTok to help propel themselves like a lot of the new people have. They
No.
they had YouTube, and then they had to figure out how to do paid ads or however else they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Spencer talked a lot about like his very first website, basically just being a big blog about investing, like not jumping on TikTok for 15 seconds and then putting it out there for thousands and thousands of people to see. So
Yeah, we're
I think
spoiled.
about that, and I'm like, okay, these people, they started years ago, and now they're at the top of their game, and they have kind of progressed with the internet and technology, and now that they have TikTok too, and they're only going to be even better just because they are like experts by now. But yeah, a lot of his videos and just kind of like breaking it down made sense to me, and I like
Yeah.
immediately jumped on it. Now I won't say I jumped on the the challenge and legendary and the course. Like I probably went a whole month before I even just said okay, I'm doing it. Like
You're kind of scouting it out.
yeah,
More
and
here.
that's the thing. I never, for some reason, for one, I never got on the internet, typed in legendary, typed in Dave Sharp, nothing like that. 15-day challenge. I didn't look at anything. Like I didn't go do my own research. I just listened to Brian and was like, okay, like that's cool.
So you're like the opposite of shiny object syndrome, like what I had.
It was, and I didn't join his like email list. I didn't click the link in his bio like right away. Like I just watched every one of his videos that would pop up. I really can't remember any other person coming into my TikTok feed that was about affiliate marketing and talked about it for a while. Like it was only Brian. I think I did get on because he doesn't do it like Spencer. Like Spencer's usually always promoting his YouTube channels and his TikToks. Yeah. Every now and then Brian would like mention his YouTube channel. And that's how I went to his YouTube channel, watched a couple of old affiliate marketing videos that he had. Just because in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if you're promoting this and this is what you're saying, like, let me go back to day one and see how it really was back then and just kind of like figure out, like, okay, how long ago was that when that video came out and all that sort of stuff. So I started watching those and just immediately like building, I guess you would say, like more trust with him. Yeah. And, once again, never once occurred to me, hey, let's get on legendary.com. I never once did that. So it was probably mid-November, I started seeing a couple more people talk about affiliate marketing and talk about the challenge. Do you happen to follow Kenton Martin or Think and Be Free?
Is he that guy who kind of has like a small accent?
Maybe.
I probably seen him maybe once or twice, but I literally kind of went through all my YouTube because I would follow every single person in affiliate marketing and I would try to deconstruct their emails and stuff.
He's on TikTok, not YouTube.
Oh, okay, no, I don't.
Okay, so he started posting TikToks around like middle of November, and his was only like mindset type motivation stuff. Like for the longest time, he didn't put his face on there. It was just like videos from like and stuff, like, and he would just throw captions on it. And come to find out, like, he was starting affiliate marketing around that time. He went through Brian, all this stuff, and now he's like 250,000 followers on TikTok, and I think he stays on the leaderboard at least for like
I've seen him on the leaderboards.
Yeah. So like once I saw him and I started seeing like his TikTok account grow and grow, I was like, okay, so this guy, has been watching maybe roughly the same time I have. He started, and now this is where he's at. And then AJ Rance started popping up in my For You.
AJ Rance?
Yeah. And then Austin Becker and like more and more people. And I'm like, okay. And I would just go through their full TikTok and I'm just like, okay, so like what's working for them? How's this really working? And finally, like
were you taking notes? Were you writing these things down, or how were you?
No, just not in the beginning. Not in the beginning. Yeah, it was like all just like more mental notes, because I really didn't expect myself to like jump into it. Like the way I've always been is like if I don't know someone, if I don't know, about anything, like unless I really, really want to get invested in it, like I just don't waste my time on it. Like I like to stay I like to stay in my own bubble and, just go to work, do what I do there, know what I know there, come home, play Xbox, goof off basically. Yeah. So I really didn't expect myself to jump in the way I have. Like, I started the challenge in December. So probably a good month after I'd started like seeing and like learning about affiliate marketing. And really kind of what made me say, okay, screw it, I'm doing it, is because I finally sat there and I'm like, okay, all these people are promoting this. And here I am, I have one job. I went to school for marketing. Marketing is like probably 20% of my job. I don't care for customer service stuff for the most part. I don't care to deal with repair issues and all this other stuff. Like if this is a possibility, and basically I'm going to be making my own business, then, what is really going to stop me from doing it? And it just came down to like, I just had to say, I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm not going to, and that's kind of the mindset I've tried to have like this whole year is like, stop trying to stay in my little comfort bubble. Like I always have in the past and like, just get over stuff.
That's where growth happens.
Yeah. It's been challenging at times, especially the TikTok thing. Like that was rough. The first couple of weeks when I was putting stuff out, that was rough. So
Well, I'm gonna pull up your TikTok here in a second. So just so you guys know, here, let me put this on here. So let's see. Click on the comment to show it. Okay, cool. So yeah, your comment does show. It says, not sure if I can comment on here, but I do that. So this person goes and follows the people on TikTok and kind of writes down the notes and watches all the viral ones. That's smart to do, especially if you're going to start doing this on TikTok. I mean, it's kind of how we grow. We watch and not imitate, verbatim, but we just see what's working. We try to see how can I take that and make it my own.
I don't have it down here with me, but when I actually when I finished the challenge, I was like, okay, now I've got to get TikTok going. Now my, I guess, downfall or, my mess up is that I waited almost a full month after I finished the challenge to even get on TikTok.
To get started.
Yeah. And I've got a notebook upstairs that has all like my notes from the training and other trainings and just other things that I've watched. I literally have probably like 5 or 6 pages full of like videos, ideas, hashtags that people were using. Like I mean, I don't know, like the people who think, okay, well, this will just be a side hustle. I'm fine with making $100 a day or whatever. Like, yeah, if you want to go the ClickBank route, I think, anybody could do that. But if you're really wanting to make it a real thing and be serious about it, like I didn't realize how much work I was really going to put into it. And for me, like I didn't have like many hobbies. Like I would go to work, come home, do whatever. If I had to do a bunch of work at home, that's what I was doing. And since mid-December, every day when I come home, like I am now leaving work at work, and then I come home and now I got other work to do. But
but it's almost like a fun work. Like I tell my wife, like, yeah, it is work because you're building your own brand, right? Like, the coolest part, and I think this might be why you like it, kind of how you mentioned, if you do become that store manager, they're going to tell you what to do, and you're going to have to do whatever they have to do.
Yeah.
But now you're building something for yourself for once. And it is fun. You get to kind of do fun, goofy things a little bit on videos and stuff, but you're also helping people. So it's like win-win-win in a lot of different ways. And so Facebook user here says, that's what I'm going to do. Make notes on ideas. I would say, make notes on ideas. But guys, the biggest thing, and I'm sure that Adam can attest to this, is make sure you're implementing as you learn.
Yeah.
That's going to be like the huge circle that everyone goes through. Because for me, I mean, my parents know I've always had these ideas for like years and years. Like actually, I a lot of times I sometimes have to take medicine just to get my mind to shut off at nighttime because I'm just always thinking about possibilities. You know what I mean?
Ever since I pretty much finished the 15-day challenge, even maybe before I finished it, I mean, that's how I've been like nonstop. Like I wake up, it's like, okay, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, let me check this, go to work. And then half the time, like, especially the last couple of weeks, just because of how stressful it's been, I'll just get on my phone for like 30 minutes or just like 10 or 15 minutes here and there and just kind of check stuff. And then, I'm thinking, okay, when I get home, I need to do this. But yeah, I think for me, I mean, I've always had kind of like I guess an entrepreneur mindset. So like my dad, he actually quit his job when I was in 3rd grade and decided he was going to start his own company. He helped like big homemaker companies. Like he basically dug their foundations, and then I can't remember the type of fence it's called, but basically if you dig a foundation for a house, you want to put up this special type of fencing that goes around it. And that way any water that comes in, like if it rains, like water's going to get in the foundation regardless, but you don't want any backwater coming in and just pulling up. So he used to set all this fencing up after he would dig foundations, and it had like his company name and phone number and everything on it. So if you were driving by, you couldn't not know who did that. And it was going really well. Like, I mean, I was, just in 3rd grade, so I don't remember much of it, but I mean, we were gone all the time. Like, whether he had all these projects in other cities around us or just like shopping or, this and that, like going out to eat all the time. And then the housing market crashed, like basically the end
2008, right, or something.
Yeah. It was like I was going into 6th grade year, and it was. I think I took for granted a lot of stuff, for the first couple of years.
They're saying, is that weeping tile you were talking about?
What is it?
Weeping tile. They're asking if that's what it was.
It could be. I don't remember I just know It was like 4 or 5 foot wooden posts that were probably like that thick, and not very tall. And there's just a black, almost like not mesh, but like netting that just stretched super tight and just kept anything from coming between the foundation and wherever, you put the fence at. But yeah, I mean, and then when the housing market crashed, like my dad lost both of his, and he was in business just by himself. I mean, he hired my older brother like a couple times until they'd get in arguments, and then he'd fire him one day and then hire him the next day. But I mean, he lost both of his machines, his trailer. I mean, there was a couple of nights, like no joke, I'd come home from school and like my parents are just sitting there in the dark, and I'm like, okay. So it was really rough, and definitely like, yeah, it was a pretty crappy situation. But looking back on it, like now I think about stuff like that from time to time. I'm like, okay, so my dad didn't do anything wrong to get in that situation. Things blew up, and that's what happened. Yeah. But he's obviously rebounded and everything's fine. But I mean, even with that big of loss and like stress that I know he went through, and just like emotional and mental like challenges that it really did give him for that year. I mean, he still is always like, why are you working for someone else? Like, you should work for yourself. Like, like always. And so when I was in high school, I actually it wasn't even a business class. It was a history class. Part of our assignment for a couple of weeks was make a product and sell it to the school. And me and my buddy came up with, we found this website where you could order wristbands, like just rubber wristbands. And we made them 2 colors for the school colors, and then put the school name and mascot on it, and sold it for $1. And we ordered 300 of them, needed to sell like 80 something to break even. I sold 300 in 2 weeks. And people were like, you going to get more? And we were like, no, like, we're done. But yeah, so like right then I was like, okay, so business is definitely something like I want to be in for some reason, but I didn't really care about making the product or trying to figure out how to get it and all in like the financial side of it. Like me, I was more, but for the group, I was more like, okay, how do we promote it? How do we tell people about it? So I got into some more things in high school that kind of kept me going down the business and marketing, trend, and I guess career path. Then college and yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing that's been annoying, is that affiliate marketing is a form of marketing and a very profitable form of marketing. And yet in college, not a single word was mentioned about it. I mean,
that's insane to me. I honestly, like I went into rec management, I went into sales, and now I'm like, it's kind of similar to you, where COVID impacted your industry, and pest control the same way, like, because I pound doors all summer and it's really stressful. Yeah. But even then, now people are like, get off my porch. It's a pandemic, it's like, man, I want to work from home and stuff, and so it's the same exact thing that I'm doing, though. It's kind of funny because when you're knocking on doors, I don't own the pest control company. I don't actually even do the service. I'm literally just saying, hey, do you want this? And then if they say yes, then I get a commission for being there and, recommending it.
That's what I think is really cool about you. Cause like, I mean, you took affiliate marketing, like knowledge and stuff, applied it to literally like Facebook, and saw, success from it. And I think a lot of people some of the people that I follow and talk to on TikTok and stuff, that I feel like are in the same boat as me, where brand new to affiliate marketing, went through the course. And now that's all they can think about is just promote the course, affiliate marketing. Like, we don't have actual tangible evidence and like proof and like backup, like knowledge to say like, look, this is how I applied it. Like,
that is true.
Forget the course. Like, I used that knowledge and the skills from the course, and I put it into this that kind of sort of applied to the job I was already doing, and made my life even easier. So
it actually saved my summer. And I was like, financially, I was shooting for 100,000. After everything, I just literally was trying to recoup as much as I could. It literally 70% of my income went down. And so I was like, oh, freak, man, like, what's going on here? And so I actually oversaw 50 sales reps, and a whole branch went down. So we lost like 20 something reps, and I still got stuck paying the apartments and all this crazy stuff. And so I've known for a long time online is where I need to be. It's just like, it's so hard to
How
make
to
that.
do it.
Yeah. Well, first, how to do it. And then second of all, making that decision to invest in something and do something maybe where you don't make money right away.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
for
mean?
me, I mean, the biggest thing was, like how do it. And so for me, the idea of making money online, the only things that I could think about, the only things that I thought were possible were you have to make something, you have to sell it, you have to deal with customers. Like there is no alternative to that.
Yeah.
So then, when affiliate marketing comes, to front and center for me, it's like, well, this makes sense. This is definitely something that's simple to get to do. Like it doesn't seem to be very time consuming. I mean, I guess you could make it as time consuming as you want it to be.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting out, they like when people say, just an hour or two, like it's no joke. Like,
You can do
but
that.
for me,
yeah.
like, I'm kind of wanting it to be more than just a 1 to 2 hour side gig. Like I would like it to be way more profitable than that. So putting more and more hours into it, is no issue for me, I guess.
So I did just want to pull up your TikTok and kind of let people, if anyone does want to follow you as well, just so that they can kind of see you and see what you're doing, get some ideas from you. I have seen you over, and this is a compliment to you. I've seen you progress a lot. Come out of you when you were talking about, you had to get out of your shell quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've seen you actually do that a lot in the last couple of weeks, and so I wanted to congratulate you doing that.
So definitely, probably, I would say the last several days worth of TikToks. I think it was probably 2 weeks ago, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm down here in my basement. That's where I do everything. And I literally was like, okay, well, I need to make quite a bit of content just so I don't have to come down here like every couple nights. So I just sat here for like 3 hours, just me
Just
and
plowing it out.
And I used to, well, no, that doesn't look good. That doesn't sound good. Let me redo it. I just stopped caring. I was like, okay, doing this, get it done, make sure like I don't stutter or anything. All right, next one. And just kept on going, man.
And some of them like, what you have to do.
Yeah, some of them, like my wife, like she's seen a couple of them and she's just like, what are you doing? I'm like, just trying something new. Like,
why not?
I don't know.
You got to, well, honestly, from what I learned this past 3 weeks, you got to try stuff out and see what sticks. And then once you find something, you got to kind of try to recreate that and find that audience. So Paul asked, how many affiliate marketers like yourselves are there? Were legendary? There is a legendary Facebook group. I think there's like the legendary affiliates. I think there's like 20,000 people on there. I bet you a lot of them aren't active though. But I'd say probably from 5 to 10,000 people that have done it. But I will say this: there's no barrier. There's really no barrier to entry to be an affiliate marketer, but not very many people actually. They all like the idea of it, but a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah,
I will say that. I truly feel like that.
I think the people who definitely the videos that like really go viral are the ones that like make $400 in 2 hours, like stuff like that. You could definitely use, you could definitely use like ClickBank and those type of places. And you probably could do that. But my thing is, for one, if you don't know, like if I was to have tried to do that on my own, but pre-legendary, I definitely would have lost a Facebook account. I would have because I just wouldn't have known what to do. So I would have gotten this link and just been like, oh, put it here, put it here, put it here, make a pretty little graphic, put it here. Like I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I mean, I don't know if I've posted it. I know I made a TikTok where I was like, you could literally learn this stuff on YouTube, but you're going to have to piece stuff together. Like,
it's a puzzle.
Yeah. And I mean, as good as Brian and Spencer are, like they're still smart about it. Like they don't give you the full scoop. Like they give you enough to really make you go, yeah, I can do this. It doesn't sound that bad. So
I do think it is very, very hard to get a complete step-by-step like legendary. Like people always say like, you're trying to sell a course and all this stuff. And I say, look, man, the biggest thing in this industry that you can bring to someone is clarity. Step by step, like on the way, I'm going to hold your hand. And that's why legendary marketer is amazing, and I think everyone should start with it. I don't care if you want to do, mountain biking or dirt biking or health, fitness, whatever you want to promote. I don't care, but at least get the foundations.
Well, even if you don't want to be like an affiliate, and I've told a couple people this, and like I feel very confident in saying this, that even if you didn't want to be an affiliate marketer, you're learning how to be an online marketer. Like, and if you're going to have
lead gen and everything else too.
Yeah. If you're going to have any business, like you need to know that stuff too. So
that's actually someone who works for my dad at the YMCA. They were thinking about Brian maybe learning some of this stuff. He does a lot of the marketing stuff at the Y. So I think the more that you can integrate the online space into any business right now, you're going to be winning.
Yeah.
It's just plain as that. I do want to talk about, we do have some people who are on TikTok here, and guys, go ahead and chime in on any questions or any takeaways, and also in the comments. And for those that are watching at home, I should have said this forever ago, go ahead and do #replay. It's always fun to see who watches this later on. But Adam, give us a few takeaways. You started, you said, when was your first TikTok? A couple months ago?
Yeah, first TikTok was January 22nd.
Okay, wow, it's crazy. You know that exactly.
Well, it's because I had the day off work. It was a Friday. I was doing my decade in a day with the legendary training. I had made a couple of TikToks the night before, and I was stressing over, like, do they look good? Do they sound good? Do I have the music right? Like, all this stuff. And I'm sitting there in the middle of the training, and I'm like, post. So yeah, I'm probably not going to forget exactly when I did that first one, because that was, like I said, I don't post a whole lot. Like my Instagram, I mean, you follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's usually pictures of me and my wife, and I haven't posted any since like our wedding. Twitter.
I will say one thing that you could do with your Instagram is whenever you post a TikTok, you can also press go to Instagram. So if it doesn't have like viral music, you can just slap that on there.
What do you mean?
So when you post your TikTok, I can't really show it on here, but
like at the bottom where it's like share to. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit the little Instagram button. If it doesn't have like a viral copyrighted music, some of them don't have like copyrighted ones.
Yeah.
You can literally press the Instagram one, and right whenever it posts on TikTok, it'll pop up on the top of your screen saying like put it on Instagram, and you just click that, and all you have to do is put in your description on Instagram, and you can put it on your feed.
Okay.
So that's like I said, dude, I love doing like this stream is like going to 3 places. If you can do a 2-for-1 on your TikTok, you might as well.
Yeah. I know I've seen it, but at the same time, like that's also a whole nother bubble to get out of, like TikTok, like I know like my wife sees it, her cousin, my brother and sister. That's all the people that I know that sees it, or at least that have told me. So it's like, man, getting into that's a whole nother level for me.
That's a whole other ball game, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's just tell people, because you do have 5,000 followers, and for, comparable to Brian and all that stuff, and Spencer, it's nothing, right? But like for people that are just starting, like I was just at 188, man. I was looking at you like you're a rock star, and people have a lot to. It's like, even for me, man, it was hard to get past even just your first 100 or 200 followers. And so what are some kind of things that you advise, like 3 advice tips that you would give people to get your TikTok, get some more exposure? What helped you?
So the first one, and it's something that like the file thing that I sent you last week, like all this breakdown stuff, like I'm really going to try and implement that, because I've noticed, like when I look at mine, when I look at another guy that I follow and talk to every now and then, and another guy that I do follow on TikTok, I don't really talk to him. I don't think I've ever talked to him. When I look at all 3 of our TikToks, it's the exact same, because you can tell when we're trying for the 1,000, so we have the link, so we can say link in the bio, all that stuff. Like all 3 of the accounts are like actively trying to figure out ways to hook story offer. Like, like I know in the beginning, and what actually got me over the 1,000 was I had 2 videos that got taken down by TikTok, even though they were copycat videos that like Austin Becker and other people had done.
That's what. So the last person I interviewed said the exact same thing, that they got taken down, and they were just videos that someone else did. So it's weird.
The only thing I can think of is I went a little more into detail with it.
Oh, okay.
And I was actually talking, like the other ones, just they
pointing at stuff. Yeah,
just pointing at stuff and just little bitty captions, like enough to make someone like actually go look at it, but not say, "Oh, that's fake."
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so when I look at those 3 accounts, I can see that every video, like we're trying, we may not be talking about affiliate marketing, maybe we are, but we're like trying to, especially in the beginning for me, I was like going to all these actual companies like Nike, Walmart, all this, and like showing like, okay, you go here, and then you can promote their products. And I can't speak for the other 2 accounts, but it's still kind of clear once the person hits the 1,000, this is so true for me. Like the next 5 or 6, 7 videos are nothing but blah, 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 link in the bio, blah, 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 link in the bio. Like nothing that's actually value based, nothing that's like worth someone actually watching or even taking action and going to look at it. So if I could go back now and tell January 22nd me, how to do well on TikTok is to not worry about getting to that 1,000 as quick as possible, and then forgetting everything you just did. Like some of the videos that helped me, I mean, I know I said 2 of them got taken down, but really I had one where I literally copied Spencer's video, just made it my own, but it was how to use Fiverr and be like a what's it called? Like do voiceovers for people.
Yeah.
That one got like 20,000 views, and I know I netted like at least 200 or 300 followers off of it. So like those common like viral videos that, other affiliates have done, like that's what I did to get my followers. And looking back on it too, like Brian's big advice on that is, do you want to play the volume game and, rack up as many followers as you can and get, all these, people who are going to follow you, but more than likely may not really do anything, with your content.
The wrong audience, basically.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like you either play the volume game and you try and get your numbers maxed up as much as you can and hope they're going to engage and hope they're going to click on your link and blah, blah, blah. Or do you just focus solely on, the 200 or 300 people that are pretty much consistently watching your videos? And
it's like a hot market.
Yeah. And that's something that like, I still haven't like really found
the balance.
Like it was, let me try and get to 1,000. I got to 1,000. Then it became link in bio. Like just, I honestly started getting bored and not really enjoying TikTok because I was like, oh, okay, I'm at 1,000. These videos will take off too. And then nothing happened. And I wasn't getting any leads. I wasn't making any money off of it. And so I honestly just started, wanting to be like, well, this is a bust. Like it's not for me. And then I would look at my videos and I'm like, well, yeah, it's the same crap every single time. Like I'm bored just listening to it. Yeah. So, I'd have like a couple others that maybe I didn't say anything about affiliate marketing. One that I think I posted, I think it's a couple down. It has it's the
2000.
Yeah, that one there. So that one makes me laugh because I haven't said anything. I don't think it says anything about affiliate marketing. Just multiple streams of income. And what's funny to me is, that video probably gets on a good day, maybe the 300, 400 mark, but I spelled the word lose wrong, honestly, on accident. And I can't tell you how many comments are like, well, if I lost my job, I would, or one person said, if I needed additional money, I would invest in a spelling course. I was like, keep on commenting, guys. Like, please drive up those views because that's really what I'm wanting. So,
actually, I've heard that that's actually a tactic that to misspell stuff.
I mean, my wife, as soon as she saw the video, I mean, she was the very first person to comment on it. She corrected it right away. I mean, she's a teacher, so she can't help it. But
that makes sense.
But yeah, it's like she did it probably a few hours later, another person, and I'm just like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. But yeah, I mean, just looking at that screen, like the one you've got playing right now, the top right corner one, that one
1600 too.
Yeah, that one, that idea came from Brian. Like he had a video that was very similar, except he just kind of went like took his pencil up and like uncovered the amounts. And I was like, yeah, I could, I mean, it's all possible and stuff. But I mean, like if you look at a good chunk of those, the ones, and that's the funny thing, like the ones, and see, that's a repost too. Like the original one, I think has like 36,000. Like
this one right here.
The original one. That's the repost.
Oh wow.
But the challenge that I've had is like you said, finding the balance, finding out. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this, especially lately. So either everyone must be going through this, or TikTok realizes that I'm struggling and need some like support or something. But it's like, yeah, if you're focusing on some sort of education or some sort of business or whatever, yeah, that can be one type of content you put out, but then, can you put out, shareable stuff, relatable stuff? Can you put out, entertaining stuff? The one that's on the bottom middle there, that one's just like the sound on it, the one right below it.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. So that one, like, all it is the text, and then I just pop out at the last second.
Yeah, I saw that one
Sound
actually. It came up on my feed.
Yeah, but it's the sound, because that sound was the original one was viral, but the original one got taken down for some reason. So that was just someone like copying it or something. But yeah, it's just it's hard to. I can really see how people get started and feel confident in TikTok, and then quickly it flames out because you do these like easy side hustles supposedly videos, and they take off. And then your next one, you're like, okay, yeah, check the link in my bio, and nobody does it, or you get a couple hundred views. And one thing that Brian's always talked about, at least from what I've heard in his TikToks and stuff, is like you can either focus on your followers or you can focus on the views. You want to get views, and you want to make sure the people that are interacting and consistently watching, like are going into your funnels and stuff. I mean, I was looking at his earlier today. He's got like, what'd you say, like 160,000 followers?
Yeah.
A lot of his videos, he gets maybe 1,000 or 2,000 views on them.
If that on some of them.
Yeah. I mean, some of them I think was like 400 or 500. And it's like, so when you put that into perspective, when you're like, okay, I'm brand new, I have 5,000, your case 7,000. And it's like, yeah, if you put yourself in that headspace of, well, people aren't watching my videos, I'm not getting any exposure on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're just going to set yourself up to just honestly quit. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, there's been a couple of times, I've had that problem. Like when I first started seeing commissions roll in on like a 3-day stretch, like one day I called my wife at 12, I'd made $20. By the time I got home at 4, I was at like 205 or something. Sheesh. She came home from work. I was like, I'm quitting my job. That's it. I'm done. We're going full force in this, and then like 3 days later, it's dead silent.
Yeah.
Like, I start tweaking with stuff. Then I start looking at, TikToks. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I start, kind of second guessing like, well, okay, maybe that was a fluke. And I can definitely see how people easily, just give up on it. And it's like, I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, I've invested quite a bit of time and some money into it aside from the $7. And it's like, if I'm trying to give myself really a year, it's like, okay, if I have a full year of constant, effort, work on it, like, if I can make what I've spent, then, that is more than enough time to just keep going. Yeah.
Well, let me, so we're coming up here on an hour. So I just kind of wanted to summarize some of the cool things that I saw from you. And Jamar, thanks for stopping by. Jamar's my number one fan. Hey, we got to get Jamar in my video here one time too. You know Jamar, right?
Yeah.
Jamar Jones? Yeah, he's one of my favorites, man. He's probably my. Yeah, he actually, my first live stream ever, he messaged me afterward, made me feel so good. He said, "You're doing a good job, man. Keep it up." And sometimes it just takes one little message and you feel good. Huh? But I think he said a lot of good things. You don't always have to just go for all these follows. Like, it is good to get over. I think honestly, getting over 1,000 is important because then you can do lives. Like, I think that's actually the most important thing. But then second of all, like, go for an audience that's actually warm. Like, you don't have to go for all these side hustles, get rich, $5,000 for a photo type things. Cause I read those comments on a lot of those people's things. They all call you kind of like a scammer. This doesn't work. They're not actually resonating.
Yeah. And I've had some people like ask me for like, how did you do? And like in the beginning, like, especially the voiceover one, I was like, oh, I can do that. I'll show proof. Nope. I haven't done it. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of these side hustles, they only take like an hour or two, but like I don't have an extra hour or two to sit here and stare at a computer like on top of everything else. So like if I can maybe sit for an hour or two one night and know that, for the next 24 hours I have a chance of making money versus requiring me to do something for the money, like, and that's what I don't know. That's what I don't understand, like how it doesn't click for some people. Cause it's like, yeah, if you want to get on Fiverr and do all these gigs and stuff, okay, but you're working for that money. Like, you're not doing it once and letting it continuously work for you. So
yeah, no, it's true. And so, just so you know, like, you're kind of saying exactly kind of what Jamar said. Like, if I get his story right, and you'll see his live later, everybody. But he kind of said like over a year, you kind of see just how much progress you have. Everything we do in this industry as affiliate marketers, when you build your list, is compounding,
Yeah.
And so, and even just our followers, like I've seen, I can't remember when I first started following Jamar here. He's like 40 or 50,000. Now he's over in the 100-something thousands. And it's, and this is what I used to play a lot of video games. You did too. It's literally leveling up. But the thing is when you do a normal job, you clock in, you clock out, that's money's over. Whenever you are leveling up here, it's like, man, my list keeps getting bigger. There's more opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is actually like making me money later on. It's like an investment in yourself almost. And so I think for me, it's kind of a lot easier because I've knocked doors. And if anyone's ever knocked doors for an entire day, it's like you want to quit like 20 times.
Yeah.
It's like every time someone slams the door in your face, every time anyone says anything to you, it's like, oh my gosh, what the frick am I doing here?
Yeah.
And so whenever I kind of have like such a long-term mindset where I'm excited to build something for myself instead of just always building someone else's stuff.
Yeah.
And
I was like a freshman or sophomore in college, I came across this, I guess you could say direct marketing or MLM product. I really don't know. But the product was called, it's a Cutco knife.
Oh, Cutco knives, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the company that sells it and promotes
Vector marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, I'll try this. And in the beginning, I was like, okay, this isn't bad. Like I went to my grandparents' house. Obviously, they bought something. Went to my parents' house. Obviously, they bought something. Went to a couple people I work with. And it was fun. But my boss was like, okay, well, did you get these? You had to get 10 referrals. I never, that he wanted name, phone number, and address if possible. And I was like, I don't mind if someone's like, no, I'm not giving you that person's information. I'll give you their name and maybe their phone number, but I'm not giving you all that. And then it was like, okay, well, it was like a constant, like try and upsell, try and get them to buy this. Hey, if they buy this, we'll give them this. It's like, you're wanting me to go to like friends and family that I know, like I know their budget. I know what they're willing to buy, what they, would buy, what they wouldn't buy, like what they even care about. So I'm there for experience. Like I'm not going there to, really try to sell something. So, that lasted for maybe a month for me. And I was like, I'm done. This isn't for me. But yeah, I mean, in your experience, exactly, what it's like to, constantly be rejected face to face, so if someone has that, I guess, objection to starting an online business, like, well, you'll never know if someone says no to you because you'll never know, like, did they click on your page and really click off? Did they even see it? Like, it's not, I don't think people should be as worried, with that aspect of it. So,
and also people are a lot more, I would say, willing to criticize you online. It's like you're not even having to see them. It's not that big of a deal, You know what you're doing. If you're ethical or not,
right?
Online. And so, and plus, I do think people like you and Jamar and everyone in our community, as far as affiliate marketers, we all support each other, and it's kind of like nice to know that you have people like doing it as well.
Oh, for sure.
And that really helps too.
Yeah, and like Jamar's saying, like very few people like failing. And for me, like when I do something, like I don't care if I screw up on it. I just want to know that when I screw up, like I'm gonna understand and learn, so I don't continually screw up.
Fall forward.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, that is probably a big thing for people too, especially after this, last year. It's like, well, maybe I don't have the time and resources and money to, fail and do it multiple times. But I mean, like you said a few minutes ago, like if you're looking to start this and make money at the snap of a finger, like that didn't happen for me. Like I don't know who that really works for. So but at the same time, I mean, yeah, you could be as proactive as you want, like as you're going through the challenge. Like what I would recommend to someone as you're going through the challenge, if you're going to go the TikTok route, start doing TikTok. Like don't wait until you get through the 15 days. Yeah. If a training comes up during the 15 days that you're like, oh, well, maybe I could start working on that, like with ClickBank or, doing copywriting or something, like start doing it. Like my biggest problem was that I wanted to analyze everything and try and master every little detail before I did anything. And finally, I was like, if I keep doing this, like, I'm just going to keep spending money. I'm going to keep spending time, and I'm not going to get anything. Like, I'll have all this information, and I won't have anything to like show for it. So
yeah, it's like putting your best basketball player on the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, guys, everyone in the comments, go ahead and thank Adam for joining with us. I think he shared a lot of gold nuggets, especially, he kind of has very similar situations with me with COVID and kind of realizing, man, I got to do something for myself. Jamar says, great advice, Adam, great advice. Yeah, we went over a lot of great things. So hopefully that helps some of you guys kind of understand a little bit more about affiliate marketing, how he started. And, everyone kind of has their own story that you can kind of put your foundation on. So go ahead and follow him. Like I said, let me throw it up there one last time. Follow him right here. What's your username on here? Is it just adam.stinnet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and follow him. Show some of his videos some love too. You'll see him grow over time, just like me. We're kind of at the same par together, so that's kind of the fun part. We get to rub shoulders. And he did mention one last thing, and this is how I'm going to close. He said that he put together an Excel sheet that kind of helps you if you guys are doing TikToks to brainstorm and kind of get a lot of content. Go ahead and message him, send him a direct message if you're wanting to kind of get that from him, because I think that was brilliant what he's doing.
Yeah, I've sent it to you. I sent it to. Do you follow Jorge? I don't know his last name. I think he's in Mexico.
Kind of got like slick back hair a little bit.
Yeah. I've talked to him ever since pretty much I started TikTok, and I've sent it to him. And it's literally like you can take everything and do what you want with it. But for me, I finally sat down and I was like, okay, now I have like 100 days worth of stuff that I can work on.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. So everyone's saying thanks so much for coming on. And my dad says go Pacers. My wife says thanks for the video. So if you get, like I said, follow him, guys. He's awesome. And then we will see you guys in the next one. And I hope you have a good night.
Yep.
All right, bye. Let's see.